Here comes the fun. You can take one of the Tootsie Rolls you gave me. Tootsie Roll Indian giver. Here we go. If there's one thing I've learned in my several decades of existence on this planet, it's that the universe has a kind of built-in balance. For the purposes of we gadget geeks, that means that when a big-name brand drops a couple new shiny, expensive ingots of premium tech, there's usually an underdog not far away doing something similar for a lot less. We're going to talk both ends of the smartphone tech spectrum today on episode 161 of the Pocketnow Weekly, the once-a-week podcast where we discuss news and opinion from the world of mobile technology. That's smartphones, tablets, wearables, all that stuff you wished you had when you were a kid. On location in New York City today, I'm your host and Pocketnow's reviews editor, Michael Fisher, and I'm joined by an old friend and a name familiar to all of you out there. I know. The esteemed Joshua Vergara of Android Authority. Josh, welcome back.
I thought he was going to say you.
No, because I wrote the script.
That would have been such a great swerve.
That
That would have been the best swerve ever, though.
Josh, say hi to the people.
What's going on, everybody?
Josh, welcome back. And a surprise guest who we didn't have booked. She just decided to come because she had exactly 25 minutes, maybe. The technology nerd who likes to film stuff. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Erica Griffin, welcome back to the show.
Hello, everyone.
I will apologize ahead of time because you too are cutting it close, and yet I'm the one that's like...
Yeah, Josh is chilling. Josh said scotch. He's got Tootsie Rolls. He's not worried about nothing today.
I blame Unbox Therapy, honestly.
I don't blame you. I want to meet that guy, too. I didn't get to meet him.
It's pretty nice. He's from Toronto, I realize.
I know.
Yeah.
So he's Canadian, so he's by default nice to everyone.
Exactly.
Our producer, Jules Wang, is cutting this echo-filled show into something hopefully resembling a podcast at WERS Studios in Boston, and the time is precisely 3:50 p.m. on the Eastern Seaboard. Good afternoon, everybody. If you ever experienced boredom, you might like what I'm about to tell you. You guys are going to hate this. An outfit created by former Pocketnow editor Taylor Martin has an online store with a variety of boredom-crushing do-it-yourself kits. I told you were going to hate it because you're going to want all this stuff now, and that's the problem. We're talking about Mod in a Box, folks. Recently, they added a cold brew coffee kit to their store for just $13 because, of course, they did. Taylor's well known for his love of coffee. Free shipping on that, by the way. And it lets you join the cold brew coffee revolution so that you can make your own delicious cold brew coffee right at home. Are you a member of the cold brew revolution?
Not cold brew, no.
No. I am.
I
Pour
can't
over.
drink coffee.
Wow.
I remember you were saying that because it makes you so jittery, yeah.
33% of the podcast is on board the cold brew revolution train, so it's okay. Included in the box is enough premium coffee, picked by Taylor, it's curated coffee, to make a delicious batch right away. This summer, I've been buying expensive cold brew coffee by the cup from my local coffee joint, which is true, I buy a lot of it from Starbucks. But by making this stuff yourself, you can save a lot of cheddar. Along with the cold brew coffee kit, they also sell DIY hair pomade, which is what's holding together my hairdo, as well as a DIY solar phone charger, leather key organizer, a couple other choice products that are fun to make, and they're useful when they're put together. See their complete collection at modinabox.com/kits. That's modinabox.com/kits.
To clarify,
Yeah.
I do love cold brew. I just don't make it myself.
Okay.
It takes too damn long.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I need you guys to talk in 15 seconds or 25 seconds, but I actually have to read this. It's in the thing. I don't want to. I want everyone to understand that I don't want to read this, but...
I believe you.
And now this. 'Tis I, the captain of two phones, and you might have seen me on the tube. I don't usually read lame-ass poetry unless I'm in a good mood. Every time I get a Samsung phone, I want to disable Knox. But if you want to do something rewarding, go visit Mod in a Box. That's a poem that I didn't write.
You didn't write it?
No, I sure didn't.
Okay.
Blink and smile.
That's right. So anyway, folks, we're here at a breather space. This is all three of us our first time in a breather sort of timeshare conference room space.
Yeah.
Never heard of it before, but it's working out well so far. It's making
lovely.
everything possible.
It's cold in here and has unlimited Tootsie Rolls.
I
haven't
don't
gorged
understand
myself
what
on.
more you
They're
need.
in a beaker.
Yeah. And there's a couple Edison bulbs. So I apologize for the bounce, although it's not as much audio bounce as I thought there might be. But we're here to talk for the next half hour. It's going to be a very short installation of the Pocketnow Weekly, because tomorrow I go to North Carolina. We're here to talk about three devices, two of which were released just today here in New York City with us.
Are you sure? It feels like they're a little...
It feels like they were very familiar, right? Yeah. As our friend Dom Esposito said, it feels like we've been to this event before.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
We're talking, folks,
They
about the
shop.
Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, right?
You could have stopped right there, though.
Yeah. Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, and then and the Galaxy Note 5.
Indeed.
So this is crazy. I want to hear your opinions on this, but I actually legitimately had a hard time remembering what we saw today. Not because it's boring, not because the phones are bad or anything, but because previously a Note event was like a Note event. Like for weeks, you're like, oh, what's the next Note going to be? The Note is
Salivating.
awesome, right? And we all,
I feel like it was a daydream.
yeah,
I'm a little dazed.
right.
I'm more excited about the Tootsie Rolls.
Now, we have to preface that you are a victim of red-eye flight scheduling and fuzzy brain.
Delirium.
I'm working
Forgive
on
me.
2 hours of sleep.
Okay.
So we are not, and Josh is drunk. So,
Buzzed is the word, okay?
well, all right, sorry.
2 scotches, it's all good.
Right. No, but I think even if we were all on 8 hours of sleep and stone sober, we would be probably feeling the same way about this kind of thing. Why don't you, Erica, give us a rundown on what the Galaxy S6 Plus... Wait, Galaxy S6 Edge Plus...
The
what
Galaxy
is.
X6 Edge Big.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the edge that's just big that's all I can say.
It's like if somebody stuck a straw in a Galaxy S6
Yes, they blew it up. I
Yeah.
mean, you get a nice little People Edge feature, and you have apps inside that People Edge feature. But I think that's it. I mean,
Yeah, so you can swipe in from the side and launch apps in the Edge thing.
A feature
Yeah.
that should have been there in the first place.
right.
Yeah.
So,
The battery's bigger because the phone is bigger. It's what is it? It's a 5.7-inch display now.
Yes.
Still Quad HD Super AMOLED. You've got a 3,000 mAh battery. Talk about that.
7420, well, Exynos.
Oh, the Exynos
processor,
7420, yeah.
7420.
It's the same old 16 megapixel camera. We don't know which sensor they're using, the ISOCELL or the
We're
Samsung.
not sure. I asked. They said, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I guess they'll just see which ones they use at first, and then whatever's left over.
Essentially what you
whatever.
expected from the S6.
Yeah.
However, they're going to do that.
It's the same phone, man.
Yeah,
It
well,
really-
I mean, there's other stuff though, right? I mean, we've got, the display, like I said, the display is up at 5.7. There's 4 gigs of RAM now
Yeah.
compared to the
Yes.
3.
Okay. Yes. So
and the
that is
smaller
a
one.
biggie.
LTE Category 9 support, which I don't know if that was there before or if they were just making a big deal out of it today.
I'm not sure. So basically, with that 1 extra gigabyte of RAM, if there was issue with RAM management, hopefully our apps won't be shutting down.
Hopefully.
That's this hopefully operative word.
It shouldn't have been. They shouldn't have been shutting down on 3 gigs. Can
No,
we
no,
say
no.
that? Can
Yeah,
we
no,
say that
sure.
the
Yes,
S6 should
yes,
not
of
have been
course.
turning off
Of
S Health
course.
while I was trying to manage my workout just because it was in the background by one card?
Yep.
So when they were on this stage, I was like, okay, let's make sure that it's the software can handle it fine.
Yeah.
And then there's Samsung Pay. They made a big deal about that. That's launching August 20th in Europe and September 28th in the United States. So that'll be fun to try. Josh is the one who first told me about that on a previous edition of this podcast.
Well, I told you about what?
It was at MWC. Told me about the Pay thing.
Oh, well, to be honest, like, just personally, I'm not really that convinced about any pay services because I don't want all of my credit cards to, and all of my information for that matter, to be out in what could potentially be the cloud.
Yeah.
Even if tokenization is something that Samsung is trying to do with Samsung Pay for this launch, at the same time, it's just, if anybody could come in and just swipe up from the bottom, which is what you're able to do with Samsung Pay, you just swipe up from the bottom at any point on the phone, then your credit cards come up and you select which one. Yes, you can put in a PIN or you
Yeah,
put
you
your
can do the
fingerprint in,
fingerprint
that
scanner,
too.
right? Yeah.
But still, it's just, to me it seems a little bit too accessible for anybody else. I want my wallet sitting in my pocket. I want my cards to stay in there, and I want them to come out only when I need to.
Is this your old person threshold?
It might be.
Is
It really
this
is.
the thing you're just going to be like, no, this far no further. I'm not doing it.
I will try it for sure,
Yeah.
but when the chips in my high-end credit cards don't even work in half of the places I go to pay for stuff, I don't imagine this will be very ubiquitous for a long time.
Well, if the magnetic stripe emulator thing works well, then
Fair
work anywhere
enough.
in that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
What about Erica? How do you feel about this? The Samsung Pay potential?
I haven't had a chance to even try out the Apple Pay. I tried to, went to Whole Foods, and it said, oh, you have to, update or install the app, and that was as far as I got, so.
Yeah. See, that's going to be the mortality rate there. Like, the moment people see that, they're going to be like, I'll just take my card out and go.
Yeah.
So,
I was in the same boat, and then the other day I left the house without my wallet.
Okay.
And I spent the entire day on the town without my wallet.
How'd you get here?
No,
you were
not
running
in New York City. But no, I got around town because my public transit pass is on my ring, and I had my phone, I had my keys, and I was like, whatever. And then like 2 hours later, I'm hungry. I'm like, I gotta get some lunch. Oh, cancel that order I just made it under my wallet. But if I had had mobile payments set up on my phone, I would have been fine. And that may have, that sort of turned the tide for me a little bit. I understand that's a rare circumstance, and a lot of people leave their wallets at home, but it's like, well, this is an option I could have had if I was living in the future like I'm supposed to be.
But without your wallet, you didn't have your ID either.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't really put your ID on your phone. I mean, you could scan it, I guess.
That should be the next thing. That will be the next big thing.
I hope so. But then
ID on the phone.
Yeah.
But then it comes down to, what if my phone's dead when I need it?
Right. Well, then you need a Yoda phone, and the ID is just on the back at all times.
There you go.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Samsung also made a big deal about their battery leadership today.
Sweeping under the rugs.
I noticed they had so much to say about how they charge their batteries, but they never talked about, we have the biggest battery, and that was never the case.
So, can we hit the bad stuff first and then end on the high note
let's
there?
get the negative Nancy's out of the way.
Yes. What's the capacity on the new batteries in both?
Less than this.
Less than the Galaxy S6 Active Josh is holding up now, which is 3,500?
3,500.
3,000 milliamp hours.
3,000.
Enjoy it. Smile some.
Yeah. What that's down from 3,220 on last year's Note.
3,220.
And then 3,200 or whatever on the Note before that, or whatever it was, or 31. So they've brought it down below all of the Notes
Any
beforehand.
expectations? Yeah.
And put in a display that is as high resolution or higher than any Note before. Which, a display that I think is responsible for the poor battery performance of the standard S6. Although I haven't taken your temperature on this, Erica. What kind of battery life do you get on your S6?
This thing don't last at all.
Thank you.
It go boom. I mean, it's bye-bye. I'm very, very fast.
Yeah. I get people hitting me on Twitter all the time being like, I get 6 hours screen on time for my Galaxy S6 Edge. I'm like,
I don't understand.
What?
How does anybody get 6 hours on any phone?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't get. No. On the OnePlus, the first one, I did get 6 hours. I was impressed with the battery life.
I've never
Really?
No.
Okay. Well, maybe it was just special. But
I did analyze this with a couple of our buddies at the event today, and they did tell me that, if I live on the side of a mountain. So if it's constantly looking for cellular network, I can kind of see that being the case.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But even then, I'm trying to take steps. I'm trying to lower the screen brightness constantly, which makes my eyes hurt, and then turn off the GPS at all times. But
the location assist.
The most I've ever gotten is 4.5 hours on this OnePlus 2.
okay.
That's the most screen on time you've ever gotten on anything?
Yeah.
No kidding.
It lasted more than a day because I don't look at my phone for more than,
right.
how much I need. I'm a normal person. But 4.5 hours is the most I've ever gotten of SOT.
There's so many variables, it's really hard to pin it down. I'm trying right now. I'm spending a week without the Facebook app installed, which I've always had, or its associated apps like Messenger and anything like that. Right now, it hasn't given me the awesome battery life that I was half expecting, but whatever. But anyway, we're concerned about this 3,000 milliampere battery pack, but there's still the adaptive fast charging, and now my favorite thing, which Erica doesn't care about.
I didn't say that exactly.
And I don't know how Josh feels about it. Is the wireless charging with the
fast wireless charging?
charging.
Fast proprietary wireless charging?
So is it proprietary?
Well, those are all very different. Those are all very specific looking chargers they had at the
well, they just
displays.
look like a regular puck.
I don't know.
They're branded, but
see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that fast charging is not proprietary, because if it's not, then that's nice. But there's so many fast chargers on the market that how do they ubiquitize, if you will, that standard? That being said, 2 hours of fast wireless charging means that you need to have your phone on there for 2 hours, and that's just not.
Sure. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen unless you're in an
Sorry,
airport
but that does not make up for your 3,000 milliamp hour battery.
Yeah,
Samsung.
Exactly. I would rather plug that thing in on even a Moto quick charger and have half battery life in half an hour. Be done.
Sure.
That's what I would rather. Take a shower, plug that thing in, take a shower, you're done.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I get it. I think it needs to be faster, and I think they are leading the charge on this. They do deserve the credit for that, though, because
it's
it
got to
is
start somewhere.
right.
True.
It's faster wireless charging than we have currently. They're saying it's 30% faster. We'll see exactly how much faster it is once we get to spend some extended time with these things. But that's included. It's still PMA and Qi, which is nice. What else are we looking at? What else are we forgetting here? TouchWiz. They've got some kind of YouTube-based Periscope competitor that I'm not really sure is. I feel like it's
was that a Samsung move or a YouTube move? Do you think?
It reeks of a Samsung play.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking too.
It's got Samsung's little fingerprints.
Because on the one hand, you have like YouTube Gaming coming out trying to hit up Twitch, right?
Yes.
But this doesn't feel like a move that YouTube would be,
YouTube doesn't need Samsung.
Exactly. It feels like a Samsung move for sure.
It
Yeah.
is.
Just like looking at the landscape and saying, not necessarily saying what I think is the more useful thing, which is what can we improve on, but instead, like, what can we duplicate?
What can we copy?
Which is the weird part, though. I mean, we don't have to talk about the implications now, but for Samsung to say, let's make a Periscope.
Yeah.
It makes sense for YouTube to say that, but it doesn't really make sense for Samsung.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, and I sort of expected them to go into more detail on it, but they spent maybe a minute on it on stage, and then they sort of moved on.
Look, it's live. That's it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Those videos that they were showing during that presentation, 64 million views on that video about, what was it, Times Square? They're not going to happen.
Oh, God, yeah, really?
Just goes to show you how Samsung doesn't really understand YouTube.
We'll see. Maybe, it's funny. I would like for a year from now for us to go back and listen to this and be like, oh, man, that thing totally took over. What's it called? I forgot. I didn't.
Live broadcast.
Live broadcast.
That's what it's called, yeah.
Oh, they're gonna have to rename that if they want. Yeah, I think. But
pretty much it's the video mode, but the video button now says live on it.
Yeah.
So.
And it just immediately broadcasts to whatever
and
YouTube
kills your data.
got set up. Yeah, that's okay though, because so does Periscope, right? I mean, and sure. I think Periscope needs some competition there, so maybe that'll be cool. We should talk about the other phone on the roster, the one that was supposed to be.
Isn't it so sad that you're calling it the other phone?
The other phone.
Yeah.
Right? You mean that Note 5 thing?
Yeah.
That we all knew too much about?
Yeah, the leaks were spot on, right?
Yes. I feel like I've played with it already.
Such a depressing part of our industry right now.
Yeah. No, exactly right.
We're the three of us, well, all of us in the industry, we're not allowed to be surprised anymore.
Yeah. And that's really sucky. But that does mean that when a company does manage to drop the bomb and do it right, then it's really worth it. It's really something special. Yeah.
Buzz is good.
But the Note 5 is what best described. I don't know. How would you describe it, Jeff?
The S6 big with a little friend.
Erica?
An S6 with a pen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
S6 Edge Plus with a pen.
Edge 6, Edge Plus.
I mentioned this in
with the edge on the back.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. And then it was as if they took a spatula, turned it over, and said, "Hey, S6 Edge Plus."
Makes good sense.
I mentioned this in my versus video between the Note 5 and Note 4, and what kind of perplexed me about this new Note device is that in the history of Samsung, the Note device tend to take what the Galaxy S device of the same year kind of failed at doing. Last year it was the S5's Band-Aid design. The year before that it was the poultry battery, and the fact that the S4 was just kind of like, whatever, you know. And the Note 3 was amazing. The Note 4 was amazing. At $370 for a lot of sales that they have for the Note 4 right now, grab that right now. But the thing is, the Note 5, for the first time ever, it followed the lead of the Galaxy S device.
I will say this. I was thinking about this on my long train ride today. I agree with you up to a point, but I don't think for the first time ever. I think the first Note followed the style guide of the Galaxy S2, and then the Note 2 was essentially just an inflated S3 with a lot of added features, but
fair
style
enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. I did not start in this industry until the Note 3.
Oh, so there you go. Yeah. But I was thinking exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And I remember being so taken with the Note 3 and 4, in part because exactly they got right what the Galaxy S had failed to do.
Right.
That being said, this year I would make the argument that the Galaxy S6 didn't need a whole lot of fixing on the physical side of things. I think it's gorgeous.
I love it.
I think it feels great in the hand. You carry that's yours, is it? Yeah. I mean, God, it's beautiful. I compared it with the OnePlus 2 the other day, and I was like, it's amazing. It oozes quality.
Except for I got the deepest scratch I've ever gotten on a smartphone.
Except for
I don't know how.
Yeah, if you happen to shoot it with a projectile weapon, it's not going to be a great device.
Yeah, but I didn't do anything to it, I promise.
Yeah. But I mean, so they could have chosen a worse starting point. I guess is my devil's advocate position.
But even the presentation itself glossed over all of the specifications that were already here from the S6.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why the presentation was so short.
Yeah, because they could just duplicate the presentation.
Like, you already know
Right.
those books. Walk out.
Yeah.
Here's what's new.
Same. What is it? Same 5.7-inch Quad HD Super AMOLED. Same 4 gigs of LPDDR4 RAM. Same LTE Category 9. Same Samsung Pay. 16 megapixel camera with new video stabilization. 3,000 milliamp hour battery. 30% faster wireless charging. What am I missing?
That new video stabilization. I had thought that they were using the digital image stabilization and the OS at the same time. Were they not, or did they now combine it in a way that marries well?
That latter
Okay.
point seemed to be what they were trying to say. That
Right.
they've enhanced the software side of it so that it works in concert with the optical stabilization better.
Okay, well, I'm excited to try that because everyone knows it's rubbish at this point.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
real-time warp stabilization, basically. So,
Well, if you do say, for example, the OnePlus 2 and the S6 side by side and sort of spin them around and walk around a bit, you can see the S6 doing its job a little bit better. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm fairly impressed by it at this point. But in any case, what about the S Pen? It is the one thing now that makes a note a note, and I like one new feature in particular.
clicky
It
top.
was very clicky.
Clicky top.
So clickable.
That is normally what I would have said, but no, not that.
Really?
Yeah, no. I like the clicky top. So that listeners, if you don't know, the thing you can do with the new S Pen is you push it. You push it in a little bit. I don't know how to say this without getting weird. But you
We're all adults here.
Yeah, you press it and it mechanically pops out like a what is that like a ballpoint pen?
Yeah.
Yeah,
looking
a
at
clicky
It's
something.
top.
clicky.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very clickable.
So a little bit of
Pops
give
out.
comes out, and that's what you pull
Right.
To
in order
deploy
to
it.
take it out. Yeah.
And then when you do that, what happens is if the screen is off formally with a current note, you pull the S Pen out and the screen comes alive and it does whatever you tell it to do, like Action Center will pop up, whatever. With this one, you pop the S Pen out and you can immediately write on the screen.
It's brilliant.
It's great.
Good. It's really, really good. And
It's so smart.
it is. If you pop it in, it saves automatically. You don't have to hit the save button.
Right, so you pop out the S Pen, make your note, pop the S Pen back in, the phone shuts off and saves whatever you
Well, even
just
if you
do.
hit the home button at that point, it still saves it.
Yeah.
In any
Yes.
case, it saves it.
Oh.
I just think that, okay, as awesome as it is,
Great.
as cool as that feature is, it kind of predicates on the idea that the person would already use the S Pen in general. Like, think about the user who never pops out the S Pen.
Why get the note? You can get the S6 Edge Plus or whatever.
Maybe so.
This is a good
Options.
question. Now, is that question going to be asked this year? Because previous years, it's like, oh, I'm never going to use the S Pen. Should I get the Note? Yeah, do you value a big battery and a better build and a whole bunch of stuff? Like, then yeah, get the Note. But this year, it's like, oh, it's the same thing,
Right.
except it has an S Pen. So is that the lone differentiator now?
It looks like it. Are they trying to pigeonhole people to get the S line now, or what is? Yeah, because that's really.
Well, they're really just trying to shine a spotlight on the only features that make these two things unique. Because otherwise, you can't have a Note 5 without the pen.
No, you can't.
You know, so really, what can you do? You make curved edges. That's it.
Right, but why not continue its legacy of this sort of power users refuge and keep the micro SD and the removable battery?
No.
Erica and I were talking about the removable battery on the walk up here, like about how useful it could be.
Yes.
When, in my case, but you found yourself never using it, right?
I've
Yes,
never done
I
either.
complain, but I really don't have anything to complain about because I don't use the features anyway. I never exchange the battery. I don't ever use an SD card, but I'm angry. I'm still angry. I'm pitchforks.
I'm the same way too. I don't use replaceable batteries as much as I ever did. Like the only time I ever did was with the Galaxy Nexus, but that's because that thing lasted for like 40 minutes and that was it.
Yeah, it sure did.
Right?
Yeah,
And but expandable storage is not something that I harp on until I run out of storage. And to be fair, with even 32 gigabytes, I'm pretty good at keeping things pretty Spartan.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's good.
So
Okay.
yeah,
But you're not the type who shoots 4K video a lot.
because I have a camera for that.
Right.
So I have a camera.
But these are being pitched, right, as 4K cameras, and somebody behind me, I think, said, or maybe it was Flo who was sitting next to me, said, like, what are you going to do? What are you going to get a 32 gig phone or a 64 gig phone, shoot a lot of 4K video, and then, what, just upload it to the cloud every night? I mean, yeah, I guess you could do that, but you're going to run out of local storage space really quickly.
Well, someone on our YouTube channel did say, like, is everyone forgetting about OTG? And I'm like, yes, everyone's forgetting. Yes, everyone's forgetting.
Refresh us.
LTG.
That's the USB dongle you plug into the USB port in.
So you have a two-way connector. One goes into the phone. The other side is a regular USB connection. You put a flash drive in there and just transfer stuff out as you need to.
Right.
But it's not only cumbersome. It's an extra piece of kit you need to have with you.
Yeah.
So
I always lose those things. If it's not connected to the thing, forget it. It's gonna get lost.
Yeah, if your phone doesn't have a tail.
The notion just struck me that we're talking about videos we've uploaded. Erica's going to upload some videos later on, soon.
Yeah.
In any case, and we're talking about these people in the abstract, but why don't we see what they say? Normally, this is a live show, folks. We're not doing a live show. This is just this is pre-recorded, but so we don't have the Q&A. But let's look at the comments on one of these. I don't know. It's which one of the hands-ons. Does it really matter?
Note 5. Let's see Note 5.
Let's see. Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, nah. It won't be available in the Netherlands. Only Edge 6 Plus. So this is the Note 5.
Mm-hmm. Which is a peculiar move to keep it out of Europe.
You have so much bezels. Why in the world can't you just throw in a set of front-facing speakers? Yeah, the speaker has been moved to what? To the lower...
The bottom, it looks just like
the iPhone position.
The
iPhone position.
The iPhone standard position.
Melvin Born-Towen. Expectations always hurts, as Shakespeare said. Smiley face. Melvin, we're going to talk about your Shakespeare, brother. But what he's saying is no memory card, removable battery.
Don't kid an actor. Don't kid a theater actor.
Aztec says they really should make the Note 6 a power user phone again. Same point I think a lot of us are making. So they would have a good-looking S7 Edge Plus for those who want looks, and a powerhouse with big removable battery and micro SD slot for those who loved Note 4. I asked Erica on the way down here, do you think Samsung is prepping such a device, or have they given up on this segment entirely?
It's really hard to say. I hope that they are. I hope they have something up their sleeve and they're just trying to kind of pushing the Note under the rug. And just like as with Nintendo, what they're doing, they're going to have what is this new Nintendo thing they're releasing? Maybe they'll have a new, I don't know, power user or something.
Yeah, she's right. It's hard to say, but the reason why also is because I understand it's naive. I've said it a few times, but that's just how the consumer will perceive this change. Is the S6 came out, they kind of liked what they did, so they just kind of made it the Note 5 this time around, But I know it's naive to say that because, honestly, these design choices and all of these choices that I've made in both devices were made probably like 1.5 years ago. And they knew they were going to make this at this point. So we don't know what they're going to have in store for the 6 or 7 rather, the S6, the S7.
I do tend to question that a little bit, though. I mean, that's always what the manufacturer comes back and says, right? When LG...
it was a plan for a while, so you can't blame us.
Right. LG was like, we used the Snapdragon 808 because we'd always planned to for the G4. I mean, this was planned years in advance. And, this is very likely true. I'm putting my conspiracy hat on, but look at the S6, and then look at the S6 Edge, and look at the S6 Edge Plus, and tell me that a company with the resources of Samsung can't sit back for a second, look at, I don't know, the iPhone Plus or something and say, oh man, that seems like a good idea. You're right. Let's, tool up those production lines real quick. Can you just build that factory real quick? What's it going to take you? 2 weeks? Okay, build it. and make this thing. Coax it into existence. I think they can do whatever they want.
Now that tinfoil hat looks good on you.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Well, what are we missing? I feel like there's been a little bit of it's been a fuddy kind of show. I mean, these are great looking devices. We don't know price yet, right?
No.
We know release date.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Which
pre-order.
Is crazy.
Today. Hey, what time?
Pre-order
is
is
it?
today. It's after 3 p.m.
We
It's
should be able to
4:16
look at
p.m.
the price if we don't.
The pre-order,
It's like,
exactly.
well, hey,
Galaxy
let's go
S6
look at
Edge
the pre-order.
Plus.
Why not?
Can I tell you guys that I'm actually more excited? All right. Now, I've been talking so much. What would you pick, Erica, if you had to choose one of these? You have to choose one of them.
The Note.
The Note. Mm-hmm. Because?
Well, I hope I don't fry myself here, but I don't really care for the Edge because of the glare that I would see on the Edge, and I don't like the bit of color shifting on the sides. I liked the flatness of the Note 5, and that's why I went with the Galaxy S6 instead of the Edge. I have both, but I can't bring myself to use the Edge also because it's uncomfortable in my little hands and it's too edgy for me. I like flat. Just put it that way. Just because it's
Erica
flat.
prefers the flat, just because it's flat. But you'll never, that S Pen is not playing any role in the decision for you?
Not really.
You just said you liked the screen off memo, though.
I do. Am I going to remember to use it? Maybe.
Let me jot down your number, and then half an hour later, why didn't I type this? I can't even recognize my own handwriting.
Oh, it's all about that keyboard that they now have.
Oh,
that
God.
New keyboard accessory.
Oh my god! Can we talk about that?
Yes, please.
So, listeners, if you missed this, it's Samsung appears to have taken a mold of a Palm Trio keyboard from 2007 and made a case out of it.
It's pretty bad.
It looks...
It's bad.
Okay, did you guys get hands-on time with it?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't
want to
need you-
touch it.
It doesn't look like something you want to touch.
Exactly.
Tell us how it felt.
It's strangely clicky. It's almost satisfying, but not quite.
So it's clicky. So there's mechanical feedback on the button?
Yes, there are.
So it's not just little nubs on the back of those buttons that are hitting the on-screen
no,
keyboard?
That's what I was worried about.
It's when you... Shh. When you take when you take it off and you look at the back of it, there's nothing. I was like, oh, how does it work?
Oh, so how does it work? Is it Bluetooth?
No, not Bluetooth. They say that there's a sensor, and somehow it knows by touching. I guess there must be something underneath the membrane that's touching, and it knows very sensitively what it is that's touching it. I wanted to know more, but they
couldn't explain how it actually functioned.
Do you expect them to?
No,
The people behind the tables.
No,
Yeah,
no.
right.
They said that there is a sensor inside of it, and so I thought it was interesting.
How much is that thing?
Who knows?
$89.95.
Wow. I'm trying to look up the price. Are you serious?
No.
Oh.
If I'm right, well, we'll see.
Sorry, I'm trying to look up the price on the pre-order site, but it's throwing an error when I do so for the Note 5 and the S6 Edge. Josh, same question to you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a Note 5 or S6 Edge Plus.
Oh, Note 5.
Yeah?
The Note 5 solely because... Okay, so... Actually, you know what? Let me change my answer.
Oh.
I want the Note 5 Active. That's what
Yes,
I want. I want
I
the
do
Note
too.
5 Active.
Okay, it's
like,
coming out.
There's got to be some sort of variation to these two phones if they're this similar to what we had before.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, there has to be, not because I think they're actually going to do it, but because I want it. You know? I want an active version. I want an active version that has like a thick pen.
I was just gonna say we've talked about this for 3 generations now.
Yeah.
There's always been this rumor that probably some joker in a corner somewhere is thinking up and throwing out there is like, there's gonna be a Note Active this year, and I've always had the part of me that's like you, like, oh, that's exciting sounding, and then the other part of me going like, what the hell?
Why would they ever do
Why
that?
would you?
Why would they ever do that? Why would they take this?
It's like making a luxury pickup truck.
Yeah, why would they
Infiltrating the
take
market.
this thick phone and make it like 5.7 inches? But, you know, to be fair, if there's 3,800 milliamp hours in that battery, then I'm picking it up right away. But if I had to pick between the two, then yes, the Note 5.
Yeah.
The Note 5, because I would actually use the S Pen. I actually enjoy using the S Pen. When the Note 4, I used it as a pointer.
Yeah, as a mouse.
Yeah,
it's great.
I loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
I did too.
In the Note 5, this is always the case when we first get our hands on a phone. The Note 5 actually made the Note 4 feel cheap. And I hate to say that because the Note 4 actually is one of my favorite phones of all time. But the reason why is because it felt heavier, the glass, the metal.
Right.
But, you know, once I got out of that immediate pre-show sort of like, oh, this is a new device, I'm going to love it no matter what, I thought to myself, man, the Note 4 is such a good deal right now.
I bet they're going to sell it. I bet there's going to be a spike in those sales, or at least a momentary calming of the reduction as people like flock to the last power users phablet.
And even then, the S6 Edge I used for quite a while, mostly because that was the version I was given. So I was using it for a while. I loved the camera. Everything was really great about it. I thought that the phone was really stellarly put together. But that thing, after a week, after it was gunked up with my personal oils, that's horrible.
It's going to be the title of this show, by the way.
Personal.
Gunked up with my personal oils.
After the slipperiness kind of became a factor, I was always afraid I was going to drop that phone.
Oh, yeah.
And
a lot of that.
I held the S6 Edge Plus today, the S6 Edge Big, as I'm going to keep calling it.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, it feels good now, but 2 weeks from now, it's not. Yeah.
Sure.
And I've never dropped it, thank God.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? I dropped it one time, but it was like a very tiny drop. I really think I will. I really think I'm going to drop it.
Erica's got a bumper case on hers.
Yeah.
I have the Active, so I'm just like, eh.
Well.
One time I actually said, this is my beer, and put my phone in the
Oh,
beer.
yeah. Somebody asked to see my Active once, and I was like, oh, let me just clean it off for you. And I put it in the restaurant water. Exactly. Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Say, wait, why am I pouring beer with a phone in it? It's like that tequila with the worm in it, right?
Yeah. Or the beer with all your personal skin oils.
Exactly.
I think I would. I've been a Note fan for a bit, but I think I would take the S6 Edge. Do you know why? It's the worst reason ever.
Why?
Different.
Yes, to be a contrarian.
Okay.
But no, more importantly, the silver titanium shade that the new S6 Edge Plus comes in. Seriously, we used it for the
Note 5 comes in it too.
Okay, it doesn't look as good.
Okay.
It's so gorgeous. I mean, and they've managed, I will say this, they've managed to make a phone that's huge not feel so huge in the hand.
Fair.
And when you couple it with that silver color that they haven't really used on any of their phones since they were making them plastic and covering them in like nail gloss or whatever, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful phone. So I would take it just for the vanity.
So you would, for the vanity?
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes,
So
I would flash it around town in an ostentatious
I was going to say,
manner.
do you like seeing yourself in your phone?
Yeah, I do. It's very important.
I don't. I need matted. I like.
No, I like matte covers too.
We don't have that choice.
yeah, you're right. No, just use it all. So, I don't know. What's our final thoughts? Now, Eric has to go. Or are you just never going to return home?
I don't know. I like the new Note. Sure, yes, pretty. The back is nice. Once I get a chance to play with it, we'll see. Because I was not so convinced really at first with the Note 6. The S6.
Yeah, 6.
Well, you have an early unit?
Yes! Why? Yes, I do. But I ended up really liking the S6. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. I don't want to judge it too much. I don't want to be too negative.
Do you think they're going to sell a lot?
Well, they're not selling too well with the S6.
It's true. The Edge kind of throws a curve, so to speak, in the whole ecosystem for them. It's true, yeah.
I mean, but I don't know what the sales numbers are like. I know they're not meeting expectations, but they're still selling. To be clear, they're still selling.
Well, the S6 is still selling, but it's the Edge that is breaking expectations.
Is it?
The Edge is the one that everyone is demanding, which means that when you take the S6 in a vacuum, it's not selling as well as they want it. But the Edge is where it's making it up.
Given that, I think the Edge
It'll
Plus
sell.
is a very smart move.
I'm sure that it will. And I think people might receive the S6 Edge Plus better than the Note 5, honestly.
That might be so, and I think you might be right just in terms of branding. I think people have been conditioned now to expect the Plus, the Plus addendum, something. And it's like, is it like the iPhone Plus? Oh, I can look at this. And then when you pick it up, I will say, when you pick it up, it's impressive. I don't know if you guys agree or not. I thought
at
it was
first
quite
feel
nice
yes.
But I'm telling you, a month from now,
I know. Scummy oils. What about
personal oils?
Personal oils. What about you, Josh? What do you think? You think they're going to move a lot of?
I'm sure they will. Yeah. That's just the way that it's going to work.
Which one do you think they're going to move more up?
They're going to move more of the Edge. Yeah, I do think they're going to move more of the Edge because it's something that's different. The Note 5, that they can market the S Pen all that they want, but the typical user who's walking around New York City right below us right now is going to walk around, never use the pen.
Do you think the Note is played out?
No.
I hope not, but it looks like they want it to at this point.
Yeah, it's true. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Now, would you feel the same way if they didn't release the S6 Plus Edge, the other one, alongside that? Like, what if the Note was released in a vacuum? I mean, would it be cooler?
I would feel that way if we didn't have... Okay, let's put it this way. If it was just the S6 and then the Note 5, if we had no edges at all, then I would be excited about the Note 5.
Erica?
It's because we've already had the Edge. We've already had it.
Yeah.
We know what it's about. Now it's bigger.
I think it's because the Note has lost its identity a bit, like what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Well, they did just massacre it. So it's like they had to have something that took 2 steps above, like the S6 Edge Plus, and then the Note took a couple steps down. They kind of pushed it under the rug and said, by the way, here's a bigger thing that you guys seem to like. So here you go.
Yeah.
Can we go back to the Galaxy S line being disappointing? Can we go back to that world?
Yeah, right. That was easier to understand.
Yeah.
No, I think it was interesting. And I think the Samsung that we saw today, or that I saw today, reflects a Samsung that is agile and actually learning and adapting. Because just in terms of their presentation, there were some cheesy moments, there were some dumb jokes, but their presentations they have honed their message for the audience that they know is out there. I don't think anyone is walking away from this event today going, oh, man, that sucked. Because it didn't. It was well presented. There were tons of phones for everybody, and everybody was reasonably well informed. Everybody knew what they were going to demo. Like, it was well run. There were no tap dancing kids or anything like that.
Right. But it says a lot But it says a lot that the presentation itself didn't want to repeat anything that was good about the phone that was from the S6 already.
Right.
They just told you what was new, and that was it.
Yeah.
It says a lot, in my opinion.
Yeah, there was a discernible lack of bombast.
Yeah.
Erica's got to go. Erica, say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hugs.
Erica, this was awesome. This is going to be great radio. You're going to listen to Hugs Goodbye.
Hugs. You guys can just imagine what's happening right now.
See?
Take more Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, really.
I have several in my pocket.
Okay, good. Erica, safe flight.
Safe trip.
Thank you.
We will see you at the next one.
Oh, yes.
That was Erica Griffin, technology nerd who likes to film stuff.
Is that the first time you had her on the show?
No, she has been on the show before, but we had massive technical difficulties.
Oh.
So we didn't have, hopefully we didn't have those. The counter's still running. The clock is still running. Oh, and the clock is still running on our breather room. Extend 0 hours, 2 minutes remaining. I will extend because I don't know, my outro
minutes.
is longer than 2 minutes. Until 5 p.m. What time is my train? Anyway, Josh.
Yes.
We've talked to the Samsung stuff a bit. Listeners, you may have felt that maybe that was a little bit on the negative side. I think we struck a kind of an okay balance, but I don't know. I think they're good phones. I just don't think I'm just not blown away the way I usually am from a Note.
That is essentially the tone that we're all going to have. That's what I'm thinking, because that very sentence that I said at the beginning of the cast was the Note line for the first time, at least for me, for the first time, took the lead of the Galaxy S. And with that comes a lot of pros and cons, maybe a couple more cons than pros. And really, that's the tone that I think a lot of our coverage is going to end up being like. And
I think a lot of the commentary from readers and viewers is going to be the same.
Did you gloss over all of the super vulgar ones?
Yeah,
we have plenty already.
There's more. Guess Samsung does want us to be wall huggers. Small, useless battery, no expandable storage. Blah 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 blah. No removable battery nor expandable memory. That kills the Note 5 for me. I am sad and angry. These are all comments, listeners, from the YouTube, from the hands-on.
It's a shame, even the Note loyalists are actually upset. And that says a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
That says a lot about this phone.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna be talking about it a lot more, so no sense dwelling on it now. There's another phone we have on our tables, and what I hinted at in the intro for the last little bit of this short podcast is a device that does what I've discovered the other day, does a lot of the stuff the Samsung Galaxy S6 does, just not as well. But $300 not as well? I don't think so.
Yes.
We have the OnePlus 2 here. I have one. Josh has one. We are phone twins for once. Never carry the same phone.
That's true.
Yeah.
Huh? But you're Mr. Captain Two Phones. Where's your second phone?
It's in my bag along with the 5th and 18th phones.
What's your second though, aside from the OnePlus 2?
There I am. What am I doing? Oh no! You know what? I don't have one. I'm cheating.
Oh.
This is a dual SIM phone, and I have 2 SIMs in it.
Fair enough. There you go.
Yeah. So that's been handy. I'm not going to come back to this later if I don't say it now, so I will say that. Yeah, this is my first time carrying and using a dual SIM phone with 2 SIMs.
Okay.
So I've reviewed dual SIM phones before. I just haven't used both SIM slots.
Okay.
So this is the first time I've been like, okay, T-Mobile in one slot, AT&T in the other. This phone is set up to do it, so let's see how it does it. And it saved my butt today.
How's that?
Because I was in the venue for the Samsung event at Lincoln Center.
Lincoln Center, yeah.
And they had no freaking reception on T-Mobile. And I was like, well, I need some data. Let me just go into the menu and swap over to SIM 2. Oh, look at that. I have data.
The question.
Yeah.
Okay. You have T-Mobile and AT&T.
Yeah.
Does it say that they're both AT&T?
Yep. It does not report the carrier string accurately.
Exactly. And how long does it take for you to swap data from one to the other?
The first time I tried it, it needed a reboot. It wouldn't do it.
Exactly, me too.
But then ever since, it's been fine. Oh. It takes maybe 30 seconds to execute the swap.
I guess I'm impatient because I feel like it doesn't take 30 seconds for me. And what I said in my video showcasing the new features of the phone was, if you're going to swap the SIM data, because the calls and texts seem to be like that, really quick.
Yeah, listeners, you can select where you want which
those are the 3
you want the SIMs to handle.
Yeah,
Call,
those are the 3
text,
features.
what you can do. Yeah.
If you want to change which card is handling data, I would say just switch it and then restart your phone, just to save some time. That's what I was going to say.
See, that's funny because for me it's quicker than a restart now. I can swap between the two and watch it work for a little bit, and then it's like, okay, now I'm on the other network. But that was very handy for me. I did do some research and find that some commenters asked. They were like, does the dual SIM eat more battery? Initially I'm like, no. I'm like, what a dumb question. I didn't say that, but in my head I was like, no, of course it doesn't. That's foolish. I have no idea where I got that opinion from, because with very, very cursory research I found out that yes, indeed, dual SIM phones do incur.
Because it has to keep the signal for both.
Sure, but I was thinking well, they're just 2 subscriber modules. It's not like you're adding another radio to the phone.
Oh, fair,
right?
Yeah.
But if you're using it with 2 different networks, apparently, and this has been proven time and time again, that there's a
I think certainly if you have let's say text and data on one and then calls on the other, then certainly that's going to make it different. Yeah. So I could see that, but for me, I only did it to switch between the two because I'm kind of over on my AT&T, so I move over to T-Mobile.
Sure.
So when I get the notification that said you've used 90% of your AT&T, I'm like, okay, switch the data. But yeah, if you're only on one card at all times, I suppose it's kind of a minuscule change. But when you're using both at the same time, for sure, lower battery life.
So let's talk about other things on this phone. How's your fingerprint scanner been on the OnePlus 2?
I chalk it up to the fact that I don't know how to press this thing properly.
Tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me. You're the only other person who's had this thing.
There's two factors. Number one, I don't think I press it right because I'm treating it like a HTC capacitive key, where it's a very tiny press of the very tip of my finger will be able to trigger it. Never the case. I have to push down, cover the whole thing, like I'm suffocating the thing, in order to make it read my fingerprint.
So like Touch ID, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But on the other hand, I don't know. Maybe it's just I have dry thumbs. I don't know.
Does it misread? Does it prompt you to scan again?
Okay. I want to say yes because I've had instances where I have to press 2 or 3 times, reposition my finger to finally get it right. But even just as a home button, I feel like I'm not hitting it as well as I should be.
So sometimes you press it and it doesn't send you
do
home.
Nothing. It doesn't do anything.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Do you sometimes press it and it vibrates to register your touch, but still does nothing?
No, I don't have that.
Mine does that.
Really?
So yeah, it's intermittent.
Yeah.
I think that they're still working on some stuff. I want to say, which is something I said 6 times in my last OnePlus 2 video. This is pre-release software.
Yeah.
So we're due for at least one more update before the release.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's going to come early enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I know this is just something that I heard. I think manual controls on the camera are supposed to be a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard that too. I think. Yeah.
So I want to wait for that, but who knows when it's going to come in.
Right.
Yeah.
I would just like that fix to happen, but those little bugs aside with that button, this has performed really well.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm not really surprised, but I guess I was conditioned to be surprised. Were you surprised, Josh, that a phone powered by the world's most hated processor performed
by
well?
arguably the most hated company? Honestly, no, I'm not very surprised because the reason why is that the OnePlus One has continued, has continued to prove reliable. I've given it to multiple people to borrow up until the 2 came out and I needed to take it back and do comparisons. And they have all said that their performance has been quite good. Like, for example, my girlfriend, she used the OnePlus One for a while with my bamboo backing, and she thought, it's a very, very reliable, decent phone on the daily. And then when I had to take it back, I gave her the Alcatel One Touch Idol 3, which comes in at a very similar price point.
Yeah.
And she's like, I miss the OnePlus One so much.
Really?
She really misses it. So I thought to myself, as someone who's in the actual industry, it's hard for us to really pinpoint those experiences for ourselves. Because on the one hand, we're very critical, but on the other hand, we're very tolerant because we understand.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So knowing the OnePlus One performed amicably and the fact that it has a $299 price point, I give them a lot of props for that. So when the OnePlus 2 came by and proved to be just as reliable, I was like, yeah, of course.
Of course. That's what these guys do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Despite Oxygen OS being what it is, I wish there was more to it. I wish there was more to Oxygen OS than feeling like a Google Now launcher.
It is very basic from what I understand. Now, I didn't do the OnePlus One. I've held it. My friend has one, and he reviewed it for us.
So you were not spoiled by Cyanogen 12.
No, I understand Cyanogen 12 lets you do all kinds of customizations and stuff, and Oxygen OS is very much more consumer-oriented.
Exactly.
So I don't have a problem with Oxygen OS. I'm like, this is great. This is like stock Android. It lets me customize the accent color.
Which I did too, yeah.
And the dark theme and the app permissions. It's like an M preview.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel ahead of the curve on Oxygen OS, whereas I feel a lot of people who use the OnePlus One with CM, the Cyanogen mod, feel like Oxygen OS is a step backwards. It's for lack of a better term, like a dumber OS.
Yeah, a little too vanilla.
Yeah.
Which to me is like, if OnePlus is trying not to be vanilla, then they didn't really succeed with Oxygen. That's what I was just thinking, honestly.
With the phone, I feel like
with the hardware,
it's great. I like it. I don't think that camera is very attractive. I think that design could have been tweaked a little bit.
But did you notice though how you're not covering it anymore?
I didn't.
You know what I mean?
So the earlier, I guess, on the OnePlus One, the camera was located very close to the edge.
So high up, yeah.
So whenever you would hold it, your finger would get in front of the lens. Is that what the deal was?
Exactly.
I see.
So now it's like, you can actually hold it kind of like a camera, like
and
you can
position it well,
and position it a little bit better,
Yeah.
But that being said, the camera itself, like, oh god, the camera.
All right, tell me your camera experiences with the OnePlus 2.
Quality, not actually as bad as I thought it would be.
Really?
Quality was okay. Low light could use a lot of work, but there are very specific reasons for that. OIS can only go so far if the shutter speed is over 1/30. Mm-hmm. For all of the pictures I took in low light, okay, I commend you for going for low ISO to keep the noise low. Right. But if it's 1/10 of a second, any little movement, the OIS is screwed.
Right. Yeah, it's not a magic,
exactly
rubber band rig.
And that also said the app itself does have some trouble with speed.
It's just a reskinned Google camera app, isn't it?
It feels like it.
Yeah,
at
it
least.
feels like
yeah. And especially when you have the slower shutter speed already adding to your time from shutter to file.
Right.
Shutter to file is already not that great. In the beginning, it felt pretty good.
Yeah.
But over time, it felt so much slower. Today, I tried to take a picture of my glass of scotch, and it took so long.
Yeah.
And to the groaning of everyone at my table, like, yeah.
Oh, really?
That's our experience too. Yeah.
I reiterate that I wish I was at that table. It sounds like a fun time.
It's really too bad you're leaving tonight, honestly.
I know it is.
But you have an important thing to go to tomorrow. It's all good.
What I'm still thinking about the various things that I have covered.
Well, you said that you love the alert slider, which I'm kind of...
Yeah, it's great.
You think so?
So there's an alert slider, listeners, if you're not familiar with the OnePlus 2, on the side of the phone that lets you switch the ringer on and off, basically. But it also has a middle position for the third Android priority notifications level. I think it's great. I loved it on the Palm devices. I loved it on the iPhone. I love it on this. Being able to just reach in your pocket, and if you're not wearing your Android Wear device, thanks for calling me out.
Well, I was saying, like, if you have a smart, I have my Pebble Time on, and actually, if we had more time, we should have made up the fact that, okay, listeners, we were supposed to do the Pebble Time review together.
Pebble Time co-review, but we didn't get them at the same time.
We didn't. That was the thing that sucked. But anyway, I have a Pebble Time, and if I have my phone on complete no interruptions, everything comes to my watch. I don't need to worry about it. I just leave it at the no interruptions area.
Sure.
But I agree.
I have a Moto 360, and if I don't remember to put it in theater mode, and I'm at an event like we were at today in a dark room, and I get a notification, I'm gonna blind the person to my left.
Fair enough. I will admit though, if I didn't have my Pebble Time, and again, Android Wear does tap into the interruptions ecosystem. Way of doing it, platform, So I agree with that. My Pebble Time is a kind of a specific type of situation.
Sure.
But that being said, yes, when it's in your pocket, you can feel the texture of the slider. Just move it over. I agree. I don't know if you noticed, but the two phones I have on the table right now,
OnePlus 2 and Galaxy S6 Active,
they're the two phones that are the only phones in Android that have extra inputs. We have the alert slider and the active key.
It's not the only phones on Android that have actually... No.
True, but they're the main ones.
You're right. They're a rare breed.
They're a rare breed.
Yes.
And you know what? I will say, the active key, I would take over the alert slider.
You would take the active key because you can program the active key to do whatever you want?
Exactly. There are certain applications, like if I'm working out, I hold the key to go to my fitness tracker,
right,
where I put in my reps and the weight that I've been lifting, and then if I just tap it, it's for bill guard. I use that to track my expenses.
Nice.
So easy.
When I had it, I had long press to go to the action center so I could have the flashlight and all that kind of stuff, and short press went right to ingress because the Galaxy S6 Active is the best phone for ingress in history.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We need new inputs in Android. And if OnePlus is going to start this whole, notification slider is what I keep calling it. Yeah. Notification toggle rather, then that's fine too. But man, I would have loved the Note 5 even more if it had a key.
Okay.
It had to be called the active key. Fair enough to believe that the S Pen comes out and you have three shortcuts right there.
Right.
In the Air Command menu. Sure.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? You're going to tap and put the pen back?
That doesn't fly.
The active key to me needs to be a Samsung trope.
So let's remain with the theme of the episode I want to talk about
go back to
USB.
OnePlus 2. Yeah.
I want to talk about USB Type-C in a second, but no. Let's remain with the theme of the episode in the sense that let's recall that this is half a Samsung episode, and let's put ourselves in the position of a buyer right now. It's coming up on back to school season. I don't know if that informs your view or not, but you want to buy a phone. You're looking at the most hyped phones right now in the space. Assume you're aware of the OnePlus 2, because it's, I feel like some people in the real world know about it.
Yeah, well, I've seen OnePlus ones in the wild.
Have you?
Yeah, plenty.
I don't think I have.
Oh, okay.
But so assume that it's known. The Samsung stuff is certainly known. What do you pick?
Now, are we talking about these two or in the space?
We're talking about the OnePlus 2 or one of the new Samsung devices announced today.
Well, there are so many different people that would go into it. Okay, let's put it this way. I would love to say that I would pick the Note 5 as a college student.
Yeah.
But they still don't let you use your phones in class.
So, is that true?
Last I went, like I didn't think
I feel like that's not true. I feel like
really?
modern college, even when I went to school, there were people who would sit next to me with the AT&T Tilt, the HTC Tilt, the Windows mobile thing that would like prop up like a thing. And they would use it in class, and I was like, oh, I'm so envious that they could take notes and also like AOL instant message on the sly.
Yeah.
And I feel like that still happens today.
I guess it's just my experience, because I was a communications major with an English minor. So when I took a Shakespeare class out in London for a study abroad for a few weeks, when I did that, I'm kind of a slacker in the sense that I can get by. I'm one of those guys that can get stuff done an hour before class.
One of those jerks.
Right. Yeah. And I was good with writing, especially creatively at the time.
Yeah.
That, I could do that. So I would come to class without paper. And then I would just sit there. And if they really wanted to jot down stuff, at the time I had a BlackBerry Bold, I would just type in the notes.
Yeah.
I used to do that, and I got A's on every test. But I think because I had my phone out, my teacher gave me B+.
No doubt. Oh, that's the kid that's always texting.
Exactly.
Get him out of here. I still feel weird at interviews, like taking notes on a phone, because I'm like, I always have to say, like, I'm not texting. I'm taking notes. Like,
yeah. Well, taking into effect that you think that phones are okay in class now.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
The Note 5 seems to be the ideal choice for a college student,
but for the poor college student.
Right. But even the poor college student, think about this. I feel like we are so far ahead of the general populace, and I don't mean this to toot our own horn. I mean it quite the opposite way. We are so far in the future because of the line of work we're in. We consider this whole buying a phone at full price thing to be a foregone conclusion. Oh yeah, doesn't everybody do that? The contracts are so yesterday. But no, I think the vast majority of people still look at a contract subsidized phone and say the Note 6 or whatever. What did we see today? The Note 5. The Note 5 is going to be $299. Yeah, that seems like a great deal. How much is that OnePlus 2? $329. Well, I've made my decision. The fact that I have to sign up for a 2-year contract. Yeah, I know. I always have to do that. Who cares? I'll do that.
We are in the land of the creditors.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think that there's that consideration, and I think if I were in the position, given the choice between these things, I think I'd take the contract hit.
Yeah, that's a good point. And contract is kind of a word that we're not really using anymore, because even Verizon has thrown away contracts. Now it's what's the payment plans? I guess.
Yeah, the deferred, whatever the installments.
I could see that happening. I mean, that's technically what I'm doing with my S6 Active,
really?
But only because the S6. Yeah, I'm on Next.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm not doing the 2-year contract.
How about that?
Yeah,
I thought that was a review device. Okay.
Oh no! I bought it myself. When I reviewed it, I bought it right after.
Yeah,
that's how much I liked it.
That's what I do with the Moto X.
There you go.
Yeah, I ship them back, and I'm like, all right, send me another one.
The thing is, I didn't look at the Moto X's this year, so I don't know. I had to try.
Oh, you weren't there?
I wasn't there. It was long.
Oh, it's so cool.
Oh man, I was not expecting that to be the response. Everyone loves that thing.
Yeah, but we're all like, we're all on the payroll.
There's only one thing they need to let me do with this S6 Active, and that's root it. Because there's one common denominator in every phone I've ever used that has actually been slow, and that it's a carrier-specific device. Every unlocked device I've ever had, I've never had problems with performance-wise.
Oh, carrier software, yeah, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want a page full of AT&T stuff I'm never going to use.
No.
So the thing is, I know that on some level that's not really the problem. Yes, Lollipop has some RAM management issues, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But the common denominator with every phone I've ever had has been carrier issue. So.
What do you think, What do you think about the OnePlus 2 as it relates to the OnePlus 1? In many ways, these phones, there are so many thematic commonalities between the Samsung stuff and the OnePlus stuff, because the commenters on all the OnePlus 2 stuff are like, flagship killer for 2016, this isn't even a flagship killer now. A lot of people are taking umbrage at OnePlus's positioning of this thing and saying it hyped it too much because it's not going to live up to it. What do you think?
I think someone asked me. Who asked me? I don't remember. But someone asked me while we were at the the Note 5. What is going on?
We are
here?
hopeless.
At the big event. That that they asked me, what's your one sentence review of the OnePlus 2? Solid, but not a flagship killer. So if you want to feel like you have a flagship, get the OnePlus 2. But I just hope you don't have phone envy for things like Quad HD. for stuff like that. But like for pure performance, of course, it's way up there.
It is.
It's way up there, and it's really great. And if you want something different, then it feels very good and solid. Thank God they put a screen protector on here, because I gashed the hell out of it already.
Can everyone stop rubbing in the fact that I thought that the included free screen protector was a piece of frivolous packaging?
I'm so happy that I didn't take it off, because I was so close to doing so. And then since I had to shuffle so many phones today for the Note 5 and the S6
I scratched up a couple phones doing that in my bag.
Yeah,
because I forgot my phone carrier. This is great. Is this scintillating, everyone? This is inside baseball BS to the nth degree.
To the point, though, the OnePlus 2 it's probably the only phone this year, aside from the S6 Active, because it just feels so solid, that to me feels like the premium upgrade that we were waiting for. And for the price that it has, I think this feels really great for a $389 phone. I think this feels really great.
It does. I think my objections are mainly it's a more common phone when you look at it next to the OnePlus 1.
Yeah.
The OnePlus 1 had a design that immediately caught your eye. It had that weird underbite that sort of ran around the center of the phone, that metallic midplate that caught the light and glinted.
True.
And the camera looked better. And I think as a result of building a phone like that, I've heard or read that OnePlus had manufacturing difficulties with it. They couldn't scale it as rapidly, in part because the design was not as easy to make.
Yeah,
so this is an easier phone to build, from what I understand from reading some teardown stuff.
It's also very rigid, I guess you could say, because imagine the style swap covers that they had for the OnePlus 1. It actually was the shell.
Yes.
Here you're going to have the metal. No matter what, you're
Yep.
just going to have that one little panel on the back that changes, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Trade-offs and everything, right? I just love the fact that it's yet another Snapdragon 810 phone. And by the way, here's where everybody calls me out for, getting paid by Qualcomm, which, I don't, but whatever. I love that there's another Snapdragon 810 phone out there that's going to piss off everybody who likes to run 7 benchmarks in a row and point to the thermal throttling. Or even, let's be honest, 2 benchmarks in a row.
Yeah.
And so oh, look at that throttle, what a piece. But that in everyday use, at least for me, and in games, and in everything else, is indistinguishable from any other high-end processor on the market.
I said this earlier, I'm a normal person. And as a normal person, this thing has not overheated.
Word.
Yeah.
This thing, the Galaxy S6 gets hotter than it, because the Galaxy S6 is thinner and made of glass and metal. And at least in my case,
that's a good point. The S6 Edge definitely got hotter than this OnePlus 2 ever did.
Yeah, and it's a matter of construction. Every processor gets hot, everybody.
Yeah,
that's a whole different thing.
I would say the top half of the phone gets like a little warm.
It does
feel it.
Yeah, you can heat it up. You want to play Smash Hit for 20 minutes on that.
I play PS1 games on this thing, man.
Nice.
Yeah, that and I started getting into UFC, so I'm trying to play UFC. And it was only with those main instances that I kind of got a little bit of warmth,
a little bit of the sizzle.
But if anything, I put it on my face, and I was like, nice.
Nice. When is the next time we got to get out of here because our breather is expiring? By the way, everybody, if you need this isn't a sponsor spot. This is just cool. If you need a room for an hour in New York City or Boston or whatever, download the app Breather. It's cool. Yeah. This has been
very
great.
homey. It feels.
Yeah, there's a couch in here, and Edison bulbs, and a nice wallpaper. There's the magazines on the wall.
They give you all the information you need to get to it. Also,
yeah.
Nice. The email was show your ID, go up the elevator, find Beowulf, go.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it's all done through the app, and it's nice. But when is the next time I'm seeing you? Are you going to IFA?
Yes.
Thank goodness.
And if I'm not mistaken, you responded to the email.
We're going to be, no, not for that, for DroidCon.
Oh, no.
Darn.
Yeah, Flo was trying really hard to get us to come by, but it was too close to IFA.
It's very close to IFA.
So you're going to be there.
Yeah, I'll be a Joy-Con.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you on the panel?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's fun.
Yeah. I'll watch this. I'll watch whatever. Hopefully they put it on YouTube.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But other than that, it'll be IFA.
You'll be at IFA.
And I know you responded to the email. We're going to have our good old trifecta of collaboration coming back
That's right.
together.
We're going to be back on Nicole Scott's and Sasha Pallenberg's and all of the Mobile Geeks team, the live stream, I believe, at IFA. And we'll be climbing the ferns a term together.
Nice.
Again. And, reporting on a bunch of stuff. There's going to be some cool stuff at IFA. I just learned today.
That's the term, though.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see the Samsung Gear S2?
Yeah, it's got to be. Isn't that what they said today?
Well, they said soon. The only thing soon is IFA, but whatever. So maybe we'll see their watch there. We are also going to see some other secret stuff that I just found out about today that I'm not supposed to know about, so I can't talk about.
Ooh.
You know about it, I'm sure, but everyone else cannot hear about it yet. So, that having been said, I think we should get out of here.
Yep.
Because the breather is going to... I don't know what happens when the breather clock runs out. Maybe we get vaporized. We're still in the room. Josh, thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
I'm pleased.
Yeah.
Every time I can do a show.
Always a pleasure every single time, and I can't wait to have you back on the AA podcast soon as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I can't do that today, by the way.
That's cool.
Josh is a
Everyone's
selfless
leaving
person.
today, isn't it?
Yeah, we've all got stuff to do. Next time we're in the city together, I'm going to show you my new favorite bar.
Yeah, it's a shame. I'm going to Boston in 2 days. You're not going to be there.
Oh! All right. Well, folks, we're going to continue this conversation off the air, I think, because that's going to do it for this episode of the Pocketnow Weekly, produced by contributing editor Jules Wang, tweeting puns about moires at Greenpoint0. Also, be sure to find the hosts on the Twitter sphere. Josh is tweeting fan selfies and coffee tips at JVTechT.
Ooh, you know.
JVTECHTEA, of course I know. And I'm sharing Amtrak sunrises and shady subtweets at Captain Two Phones, Captain the number 2 Phones. Pocketnow is also on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Google+, and it all comes together like Southern Comfort, delivery pizza, and bad college decisions at pocketnow.com. Also, Erica Griffin is on Twitter, and I have momentarily forgotten what she is on Twitter. She at I Am Erica?
I believe it is.
Yes, I Am Erica.
I want to say there's an underscore somewhere there, though.
There might be. She never tweets anyway. Go on Google Plus and find her. The technology nerd who likes to film stuff. That's Erica Griffin. She rocks.
Such a sweetheart.
Indeed. If you enjoy the podcast, post about the podcast so we can keep doing the podcast, everybody. Share it with your friends who love mobile technology. Share it with strangers by leaving a review on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever else podcasts are heard on the web or in the world. And remember, write to us for a chance to get your questions answered on the air. We'll be doing listener mail again next episode. Podcast at pocketnow.com. Thanks to WERS in Boston for technical assistance. Thanks to the great people at modinabox.com. That's modinabox.com/kits. Most importantly, thanks to you for listening. As always, the Pocketnow Weekly will be back with more mobile tech talk next week. I just pressed the shift key.
The shift key for no reason.
Yeah, you're already relaxed. I don't need to tell you.
I'm pretty relaxed, and someone mistook me for Jules today.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Who mistook you for Jules?
I don't remember his name. It's a large black dude, and he was just I see him at
Enabon?
Oh, it must have been, yeah.
From Board at Work.
Yeah, I never remember his name, unfortunately, because we only see each other in passing.
Right.
But he straight up came up to me and he said, "Oh, aren't you out of Boston also? Because I saw you do that app, that maps comparison."
And you're like, "Do you think I'm podcast producer extraordinaire Jules Wang, the mayor
I
of
said, "That must have been
City?"
Jules," and he's like, "Oh, it was."
Well, that's okay. One time I confused Enabon for someone else and didn't get it until a half hour into our conversation. I'm like, "Oh, okay." Anyway.
This is bad. I should not eat.
Oh my God, you're already 2 Tootsie Rolls in?
I'm like 20.
Jules,
sponsored by Tootsie
thanks.
Rolls.
That's right. Tootsie Roll, breather, and what is it? Your own personal grease?
Yeah, my personal oils.
Personal oils sponsored this show.
That was awesome.
Thanks, brother. This has been really, really.
Were you reaching for the Tootsie Roll wrappers? Or?
I might have been.